Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another StarCraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. I'm gonna do the introduction a little bit quick here, as we have got a special video today. It's gonna be another one of these three-peats with three shorter bot games today. For our first one, we have got Micro Machine taking on Mecha Shark. So a TVT featuring the oh so popular Micro Machine and a lesser known Mecha Shark. So that's going to be exciting to see. As per always, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to go ahead and click that like button. Let's get 2 likes on this video, because it looks like there's going to be 2 barracks here, if I had to take a guess. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Join the Discord, which is linked down below. And consider becoming a YouTube member if you do want to support these bot casts. I'm glad to be doing a group of these shorter bot games, because we definitely get some selection bias with only casting the longer ones. There's a lot of bot stuff that we don't necessarily see. For example, a Proxy 2 Rex. We don't see a lot of proxy matches with bots start out with a proxy like this and then go 30 minutes long. So as it is very difficult to program a bot to transition, because there's so many variables when it comes to the levels of success a cheesy opening can have. And so bots tend to go kind of all in, even more all in than human players do. And now we do have a couple of Marines on the way for Mecha Shark, so it is just going to be cheesing Micro Machine. And Micro Machine did tell us the win percent, saying 63% of our encounters. Now, that's a good statistical win rate. However, it's definitely not showing that Micro Machine is infallible. And so we see a Marine for Mecha Shark try and run up that ramp. However, it decides to wait for its homie. And we'll see if these are going to pull the Reaper of Micro Machine back as soon as this attack starts. Micro Machine, no, going to keep sending that Reaper across the map. But now there's enemies at the door, and so Micro Machine's going to have to deal with this. It does have another Reaper on the way, and Reapers can micro against Marines. Looks like those Marines, they do kill the SCVs that are constantly trying to finish building this depot. Micro Machine in no danger of a supply block. It's already got another command center done. Marines are being produced at its door, and here's the problem for Mecha Shark. Its SCVs are having to fight this Reaper. However, a great micro by Mecha Shark. Its defense, it pulls the injured ones back, and it's actually repairing them up, then pulls a fresh one off the line, or at least it was doing that, to be the dedicated sacrifice. Now, Marines for Mecha Shark are still on the other side of the map, breaking down depots of Micro Machine, as Micro Machine has now actually managed to build up a decent number of Marines at the top of that ramp, so I'm not sure how much trouble it will actually be in. These Marines for Mecha Shark are at a pretty high mass, though, and they're actually potentially going to kill this command center. That could indeed lead to a supply block for Micro Machine. While this is going on, though, this Reaper still being a nuisance. Looks like Mecha Shark actually sent back a Marine to help deal with this. That's surprising. Pardon my observing for missing that. The problem, though, is going to be whether Mecha Shark can break up this ramp. I'm not sure. The Marine count is currently 15-6. The high ground is strong, though. We'll see whether Mecha Shark advances properly, and it does advance properly. Going to kill that depot first. And now Micro Machine is heavily supply blocked. The Mass Marine strat is a pretty good one, ladies and gentlemen, as the Rax now burns down. There's no siege tank or anything on the way, no bunkers built by Micro Machine, and it's now pulling SCVs into the Marines, but the Hellions, the Marines, are afraid to engage, and Mecha Shark's cheese, dare I say, could have been successful here, as Micro Machine, it had good Reaper harass on the other side of the map, but it just didn't quite muster the defense it needed. It abandoned the high ground and definitely didn't build a bunker or anything, or a siege tank. So it is just dead, losing both its orbital commands. It didn't scout out notably until it got the Reaper. That's why the cheese kind of, well, it went unscouted, and so Micro Machine didn't react in time. And so even the best bots can be cheesed out. And so that means we're going to be going into our next match pretty quickly here. I do want to highlight Mecha Shark's defense with the SCVs. against the single Reaper. That was some cool programming. The fact that it did just keep pulling an SCV to soak shots, then sending it back on the line, even repairing them up, pulling another one off. That did save it a lot of potential damage. GG, into the next one. Alright, it wouldn't be a shorter game video unless it featured Xena. And so here we have Xena taking on Mini Test T. Usually just Mini Test, so I'm not sure what the rest of that stands for. Anyway, yeah, Mini Test, the bot author is very active as well, so it's cool to see. And we'll see how well it's going to do against the cheesy Xena playing Protoss today. Looks like it is going for that proxy gate build, so lots of stalkers, which is honestly a build that we've seen not succeed a fair bit, as it's very difficult to program them when to engage. And so, yeah, we have got Mini Test just going for 2 racks in the main base to start things off. Xena said safe gate, so I guess it's not actually proxying, it's just building 2 gates in its main base. So we got 2 racks on Mini Test side of the map. Correction, 3 racks. Whereas Xena has got 2 gates building in its base. Now, 2 gates for Protoss openings isn't strange. A lot of the Protoss bots do this. I guess it's just very difficult to program a bot that opens up to macro safely just off of 1 gate. We do, however, have a lot of gates out of Xena. 3 gates going up. Cybercore coming up next. It's always interesting seeing the timings that these bots can throw things down with the speed mining. It throws things off a little bit here compared to what a human player can do. Now, Mini Test is already starting to pump these Marines, so taking a leaf out of Mecha Shark's book. Taking a page out of Mecha Shark's book, and yeah, just going to be making a lot of Marines. We'll see if Xena's going to be producing units to respond to this. It's set up quite well to, I imagine, if it starts just pumping Stalkers. It's got lots of energy ready to Chrono Boost, so it's going to do just that. So mass Marines against Stalkers. This typically bodes well for the Stalker player, as there's already 3 on the way, and yeah, this is not looking too good for Mini Test as long as Xena is going to micro these. And I know bots sometimes have derpy micro, but with just 3 Marines moving across the map, they're going to run right into the wall that is Xena's Stalkers. So we're looking at a cheese versus cheese situation. Now, looks like some of those Marines do find that 1 probe. They're going to chase it. The rest of these Marines are going to run up this ramp, presumably into their death. Xena says attacking the main. Mini Test is on the warpath. However, these 3 Marines have got a tall order. They can, funnily enough, chase the Stalkers away as they're so defensive for Xena. This is my one critique. Like, it's only 3 Marines. Just kill them, and it will kill them. However, it does take its sweet time doing that. We've now got 1 more Marine running across the map, and oh boy, this is not looking too hot for Mini Test. The way that it's just trickling these boys, not pooling them at all. It is just ridiculous how many racks and how many Marines bots can get up early on with the speed mining. Looks like one of those Stalkers actually do go down, so that's an okay trade for starters. Xena is getting Warp Gate ready. We'll see where it's going to warp those Stalkers in. Looks like it elects to warp 2 in across the map, 1 in on its side of the map. However, Mini Test is going to be in a lot of trouble. It does start pulling some of those units back, however, not nearly pooling enough. And if it did pool all these Marines, maybe it would have a chance here. And, I mean, bot things are happening. Xena's moving some of its units across the map. This 1 Stalker is microing against these Marines. Another Marine is running into the main base, so we'll see what it's able to get done. However, it's currently 10 Stalkers to 10 Marines. That's just how many Marines have died. 25 have died already. That is a ridiculous number. This Marine is going to declare war on a single pylon. However, the main base of Mini Test is going to be in a lot of trouble. It's long-distance mining with its SCVs, but boy, oh boy, is it in trouble here. Can trickle out all the slow Marines it wants at this point. I think it is just going to be dead here. And yeah, looks like in the cheese battle, Xena has won this one, I think it's safe to say. The Stalkers are going to close the distance. It would be interesting to see, say, if Mini Test did pool its Marines a little bit more, but it's one of those things. Attacking works pretty well most of the time. Just Xena had the hard counter with the builds. Stalkers are better than unupgraded Marines. You give the Marines stim, things can be a little different, but not in this game. And so that means we've got one more to go into. Alright, and here we are with our final match of today's video. And it's gonna... You can't have a bot game without it featuring Eris, the top Zerg bot, and taking it on is gonna be Sharkling. Saying GLHF, much love, even though we know there's gonna be a cheese coming, and there already is that early pool on the way for Sharkling. Eris gonna have to react to that. We'll see. Eris is notorious. Well, not notorious, but just reliable when it comes to going for a hatchery first. That could leave it open to a little bit of aggression here. At the same time, Eris is a very mature bot in which, oh my gosh, in which it will actually go for, like, cancel a hatchery if it sees a cheese. So seeing these drones move across the map, we could very well see Eris potentially just cancel that. The drones are grouping up for Sharkling, as it's got, how many of these? There's 10 drones moving across the map, ready for war. They're going to be getting backed up by a handful of lings here. Currently just 2 for some reason. There we go, there's the rest of them on the way. Eris saying, tag Eris versus Worker Rush, so there's some very specified responses here. It's got the pool on the way, but the Worker Rush is coming. These drones are just hanging out. They've already kind of done their job, forcing Eris to cancel its hatchery. However, Sharkling is going for blood here. They're going to find the one drone hanging out in the natural. It's not going to do too well for itself as it gets taken out with those big meaty claws. The drones are coming on in. Eris is now saying it's against a ling rush, so it's got to worry about lings. Drones and lings are going to be facing off against each other in a minute here. For now, it's just drone on drone hate, though. And the drones for Sharkling are doing very, very poor, as they were outnumbered almost 2 to 1, it seems. So those drones are going to have to retreat. In come the lings for Sharkling. They're actually just running right on by, taking a bit of damage. Now here comes in a few more of those Sharklings saying, have you expanded yet, Eris? And I think we all know the answer to that one. These lings are killing off a decent number of drones, however. It's currently 7 to 16 workers, so Sharkling does need to get some more work done. Eris does have its own drones popping out momentarily here, and that may be enough to hold on. However, there is more and more lings crossing the map for Sharkling. It's amazing how many lings can be produced off of 3 drones with speed mining, it seems. More and more of these are coming. Eris does have a queen pop out, and that is going to be really problematic for Sharkling, as it takes a lot more to kill a queen than just like 1 or 2 lings. And so I want to say that Eris has successfully held on, showing us that it can defend pretty much the earliest possible rush. As yeah, Sharkling, it's just trickling out a couple of lings now. There's absolutely no way at this point. It's got less lings, less workers. And so on that note, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this one, very short game for our previous match. However, it's good to show these shorter games that are happening on the ladder, because if we don't check out some of these shorter games, we'll miss a big chunk of these bot matches. So yeah, hit that like button if you haven't already. If you made it to the end of the video, subscribe. If you do want to support this bot coverage and you enjoy the commentary, consider becoming a YouTube member. That's the best way to support the channel. And yeah, we can watch as like one ling after another runs on in and dies. Eris presumably will eventually counterattack, and that will be the end of it. No speed on the way for it yet, however. So how long does Sharkling have yet to live? There's no transition behavior for Sharkling either, so it's just in a lot of trouble here. Eris chasing the one ling. Now it's going to go in for the attack with a boatload of slow lings. And, oh, Sharkling actually does hold the door for a minute, so it actually did start to pool its lings. But that's not going to be enough. Eris breaks through, and the last 3 drones are killed. Eris avoids the birdlings there. GG. Thanks for watching.